In this video, I wanted to specifically highlight Uvita and show you some of my favorite things to do in this town. At first glance, Uvita may look like nothing more than a simple beach town, but looks can be deceiving. Uvita is packed with things to do, and in this video, I'm going to break down some of my favorite highlights of the trip. Stay tuned because at the end, I'm going to showcase my experience with Life Planet Project, which is where I learned how to scuba dive for the first time, and with whom I completed the first 2 dives on my PADI certification. Uvita is a small beach town on the southern side of Costa Rica. It is about 4 hours and 15 minutes from San Jose and about 2 hours from Manuel Antonio. Its location makes it a prime launching point for expeditions to Corcovado National Park. Now with the geography out the way, let's talk about some of my favorite things to do here. Uvita is famous for its amazing and beautiful beaches, including Playa Uvita, which is home to the famous Whale's Tail Formation. It's a very unique formation created by the clashing of 2 currents at this point in Costa Rica. And it's really cool to see, especially if you have a drone and you can get a view from high above. It's all part of Marino Ballena National Park, which is created to protect the marine life in the area, like the turtles, dolphins, and humpback whales. Visit the beach and enjoy the views. You might even see some wildlife like the scarlet macaws flying over your head and into the forest nearby. Alright, so next up we'll talk about food. By far, my favorite place to eat here was Mosaic Sushi. And the sushi here is absolutely amazing. It's one of the best sushi I've ever had in any country I've ever been to. The vibe is really cool too, and you get lots of great tips from the owner. They also have some brunch options. Once again, really good stuff. There's also Cabanas Los Laurales, which is a hotel and restaurant. We actually stayed here for 2 nights. This is a walk from our hotel room. While the lodging was nice, what's really fantastic is the food. Okay, so we're here at, can't really pronounce it, but I think it's Cabanas Los Laurales. It's here in Uvita. And if you're looking for food, it's a great place. You know, they have a lot of fish tacos, vegetarian options that we can eat. It's kind of deserted right now because it's 6 a.m. in the morning. I think this place gets really packed, so be sure to make a reservation in advance. Otherwise, it's not too expensive. Fish tacos, which were really good. And they also have a Cajun pasta, which was really good. Definitely a good place to check out as far as food is concerned. Also, if you stay here, there's a sushi place, Mosaic Sushi, just down the street, which is also really good. Next up, you're going to want to visit the waterfalls while you're here. The most famous one is the Uvita Waterfall, which is just outside town. It's about a 10-minute drive. Things to note are that the entrances are privately owned and cost about 2,000 cojones per person. The waterfall is also only open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. every day. The waterfall is quite lovely and it can be used as a natural water slide, which is what a lot of people do. We weren't that adventurous and we just took a dip because at the base of the waterfall is a small swimming hole, perfect for some relaxation. There's also the hidden waterfall, which is a bit further away. And to get here, we actually got a ride from the owner of our favorite sushi place, Mosaic.
The sushi at your restaurant is so good.
Good, I'm glad you like it, yeah.
Was you already living here in Costa Rica?
He dropped us off at the hiking trail and we continued our trek a bit further in. Eventually, the trail opens up to the river, which ultimately leads to the hidden waterfall. Now, as I mentioned before, Uvita is a great launching point to visit Corcovado National Park. Corcovado is one of the most biodiverse places in the entire planet. It's located on the Alsa Peninsula, which is home to 2.5% of the entire world's biodiversity. This place is home to an amazing array of animals, from monkeys to frogs to even jaguars and mountain lions. And therefore, to visit the park, you must come with a guide. We took a boat here, and even before we got to the park, we saw lots of animals.
Take off your hiking shoes. Just the hiking shoes. Take off.
There's no question as to why you need a guide, because the park is extremely remote, and even if you don't get lost while you're here, you still need to watch out. The trek is filled with river crossings, and the depth of this water can change based off what time of the day you're here. And even then, you gotta watch out because there are crocodiles everywhere, including some of the rivers that we cross while we're here. When it comes to Corcovado, there's plenty of options. We did a short hike because the 3-day option to trek through the rainforest was sold out. But even on the short hike, we saw lots of interesting wildlife, like wild turkeys, crocodiles, bats, and a few other animals. We didn't see everything, but that's to be expected, especially when you're only there for a few hours. Finally, we have scuba diving in Drake Bay in the Ganu Island Marine Reserve. This is a highly biodiverse environment where you can see sharks, whales, barracuda, and much more. To go scuba diving, I reached out to Life Planet Project, a local company owned by Davide and Carolina. Their company has a huge emphasis on ecologically friendly tourism. Our boat stopped when they found plastic so they could remove it from the water, and it really opened my eyes to the impact we have on our environment.
Hi, I'm Davide. I'm from Italy. I'm a scuba diving instructor. I have been diving for about 20 years now, teaching for 7, and I love it.
My name is Carolina. I'm from Costa Rica and I have been diving for 7 years. I'm also a scuba dive instructor.
Do you love it?
I love it. Life Planet Project started 2 years ago, maybe a little bit more. The idea is very interesting because it was out of desperation, I think, to do something different. When I start teaching the industry, I feel it will take people like a number, and I don't know, when I started diving I felt it was the most sacred experience to take people in the ocean and breathing underwater, feel the body in a complete different way and see so many different creatures, the marine life, and it was just magic, the blue space. And I felt that sacred experience got lost a little bit in the commercial diving experience. So this idea came out of creating something more personal, where we don't just, yes, it's go to scuba diving, but just not ignoring it, talking about it, and more a conservation, like education about marine conservation through the experience of diving. Because this project is about to make the people first love the experience and love the ocean, and
so
then
that they care. So what we do with Life Planet Project when we take people on tours is to try to give them an experience that is a little bit more than simple traveling or going on a guided tour, because pretty much anybody can do that, and that's not our goal. Our goal is to make people fall in love with the place that they are exploring and visiting, and make them aware of the issues concerning this place, and also make them want to preserve this place and love it and share with other people what they learned, and tell other people how much they fell in love with it, so that hopefully eventually there will be more and more people wanting to do something about it. So when we take people scuba diving, we try to share a message on ocean conservation. We try to teach people everything that we know about the behaviors of the animals that we see, and how these behaviors have been affected by the presence of the humans and plastic, or the damage that we do. We want to show people the damage that humanity is doing to the environment while having fun and enjoying the experience. Because if we just talk about the bad things, then we're going to depress people, and that's not what we want to do. But if we only have fun without having a little bit of mindfulness on what is around us, then also we don't achieve our goal, which is eventually to create consciousness and awareness in people so that things can change. So any scuba diving tour that we organize, you will hear us talking about sharks or whales or dolphins, or how the number of fish increased or decreased during the year, or what problems marine turtles face being close to the coast and close to the fishing line. We talk about the birds and the mangroves and how the ecosystem of the mangroves interacts with the ocean and with the land. We try to include teaching them a mindset, really, because a lot of people know that there is plastic on the beach, but very few people pay attention to the amount of garbage and plastic on the beach and in the sand, and even less people are willing to bend down and get their hands dirty to pick up a bottle cap of a Coca-Cola bottle or a piece of a lighter or something like that.
And that's something that I can attest to. The eco reminders were an integrated part of my PADI training. After spending 2 days in the classroom and in the pool learning basic scuba skills, it was time to put my skills to the test in Drake Bay. Just before my dive, I spent some time checking all my equipment to make sure that I had everything that I needed for this new experience.
Oh, okay, yes, because maybe if you open it and then close it, there is still a little bit of...
My safety was now in the hands of these experts. Both of them brought several years of experience and were fantastic instructors.
The one that we had yesterday was different, right?
And while I could sit here and tell you how amazing my first dive was, I'll instead have Carolina tell the story of her first dive and how it inspired her to pursue the journey that she is now on.
And how old were you when you started diving?
I was 13 years old when I started diving.
I was 18.
And what was that first experience like?
My first scuba diving experience was amazing. From the moment you jump in the water, and then all your mass is full like in bubbles and the water moving, and then all that movement come down and you don't hear anything anymore, and you are in an open blue space that is so big. It's such a big space, and you start hearing your breathing slowly. You start hearing and seeing things around and feeling your body in a completely different way than you ever feel it. And then because at the beginning I was way too excited, right? So when I was able to start looking at what was around me, I couldn't believe it. It was to be in a world that I couldn't even imagine before. Because whatever you see in the documentaries or in the TV,
It's there.
it's there. You are
Right
not
in front of you.
there. Yeah, exactly. It's amazing. So for me, it was like enter in a dream that I couldn't even project. And yeah, since that moment that I touched the water and I find myself breathing, that was it. That was it.
Scuba diving is 4 words. You can breathe underwater. That's incredible.
As they said, scuba diving was absolutely incredible and it left me inspired. This Goal of the Life Planet project was successful. I had an absolutely amazing experience.
I think also with this project we want to share with people a little bit of knowledge and passion, and let them know that it doesn't matter what they do day to day. It doesn't matter what they dedicate their life to. Anybody can share this message, and it's important because there is not much time. Yeah, basically we need to take care of our ocean and of our planet. And yeah, it's a shame. You know, we need to. I'm sharing it with you, and then what you hear, you can share it with another person. There is a lot of information in internet right now, so it's important to educate yourself and just share the message. Sorry?
Would you consider scuba diving a good workout?
Scuba diving a good workout. Well, No, I'm kidding. No, yes, for sure. It's a good workout. Well, for swimming, it's supposed to help a lot with your body. It relaxes your muscles, makes you stronger physically and mental. So I think scuba diving is a good workout, yeah. But you know what's a good workout too? I was hearing these people doing it, like go to the beach or running or walking and pick up garbage. So you do like sit-ups, pick up the garbage and run and walk and pick up another one. So you're doing like, what do you call it, sits?
So I don't know if scuba diving can be considered a good workout. Definitely I don't consider it a workout. I consider it a meditation and a medicine. But apparently an hour of scuba diving is burning roughly 700 calories. And there is not many other physical activities that reach this number. So if you want to do it as a workout, as long as you do something good for yourself and for the ocean and have fun, go for it. Well, I think that one of the biggest problematics in Costa Rica when we're talking about the environment is definitely what's happening to the ocean, especially on the Pacific side of Costa Rica. This country and these waters are a very, very rich source of food for sharks, and there used to be a lot of sharks in these waters, especially endangered species like scallop hammerhead and bull sharks. And now over 90% of these sharks are gone forever because of the fishing, because of the illegal fishing as well. And Costa Rica has a reputation, rightfully so, as an eco-friendly country. They have 99%, if not 100% of renewable electricity, and they have more land dedicated to national park or protected areas than any other country in the world in comparison to the size of the country. So that's excellent, but there is not enough concern or care or will to do something about what is happening to the ocean. And that is going to reflect not only on Costa Rica as a country, but also on the people here, and eventually it's going to become, it is already a worldwide problem. As much as we like to talk about global warming and plastic production and plastic ending up in the ocean, if we don't stop killing and depleting the natural resources in the ocean, nothing else will matter, because this planet exists and the life on this planet exists thanks to the ocean and the life and the oxygen produced from there. If we kill the ocean, we can cover the rest of the planet in plastic. Nobody's going to be alive to see it, and eventually the planet is going to recover in a couple of million years. So if we are concerned about our own survival, we should be concerned about the survival of the ocean in the first place.
Yes, I think also another big problematic with Costa Rica in terms of the marine conservation, as Davide said, the sharks 90% are gone, and it's because the shark in Costa Rica is legally a commercial species, and that's something that needs to change because the balance of the ocean basically depends on the sharks. And if Costa Rica cares so much about its land, the jungle depends from the ocean, right? So it's all a cycle and a chain, and yeah, it needs to pay more attention to the shark, especially because sharks are wildlife, and they are endangered species, and they are actually like kind of symbolic for Costa Rica, and it's still in Costa Rica. That it's a commercial species for the meat and also for fin exportations. They was doing it. So yes, it is a big problematic. Like there was 9,000 kilos of fins that was exported in the last years. That's a big number.
Yeah.